How far away do I hold this?
I mean, whatever you want. I mean, if you hold it here, it's probably gonna be like.
I can't swear on this, right?
Okay. Well, I can just kind of.
Tilted, but I'm not sure if it's like,
How
sorry.
tilted
That's
is
like
it?
No, that's a reasonable concern.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of Bolles Boarding Buzz. I'm your host, Mia, and today I am here with
Ella Chan from Australia.
Yes, and thank you so much for being here.
No,
I'm
thank
really
you for
excited
having
to
me.
interview you. So before we start, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. I'm Ella. I've been here since my sophomore year, and I'm a senior this year. I'm an American citizen as well. I was born in New York, but I moved to Australia on some crazy whim of my mother's when I was about 4, I think. So I've grown up there. That's my entire childhood. That's where I've lived, and I'm a dual citizen now. So, yeah.
That is very cool. So I can hear you have a little bit of an accent.
A little bit, yes.
Was that how long did it take for you to get the accent when you first moved to Australia?
I feel like in the spectrum of accents, I'm always kind of in the middle. Like, people here will tell me I have an Australian accent, and people there will tell me I have an American accent. Because I guess I started learning how to speak when I was in New York. My parents have American accents. But then when I go to school and when I do all these other things, so it definitely shows up in certain words more than others. Like go and no.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that people are like, yeah, you sound really Australian. But I'm definitely somewhere in the middle of the spectrum accent-wise.
That sounds really cool. I really enjoyed that.
And then I have little siblings as well, and they have much stronger accents. So it's trickles down the train.
Do they live in Australia right now?
Yes.
Or they okay.
I have one younger brother who's here with me in the boarding program. He's a junior this year.
Okay.
And then I have 2 other little siblings, another little brother and another little sister, and they're in Australia with my family now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. So I know that you're a big part of the swimming program here. I saw that you are committed to Colombia.
I am.
That is a really big thing. So could you talk to us about how bowls and how being a student athlete but a boarding student has affected?
Yes, of course. Okay, so I thought that I wanted to go to college in the US for a period of time before I even came to Bolles. But a large part of the decision to even come to school here centered around that it would be a good pathway to college.
Yeah.
And both with swimming and academics and but I think that it really has manifested that way in that we have so much support from swimming here, from Coach Peter and the coaching staff, and how they are able to talk us through the process, how recruiting works, how we interact with the coaches, how we kind of have this network. And it's been super, super helpful for me. When I first came, I could not have told you, I couldn't have listed 10 colleges, but they definitely talk you through the process. They have their own connections. We have coaches come visit us. They show us look, this is when you're able to start talking to coaches. This is how you write an email to them, and you should reach out before whatever date. So definitely grateful for all of the support that we've gotten on the swim team. And I'm sure it's similar in other sports, a bit different. But I know that I wouldn't have had that structure and that support if I tried to go through the recruiting process as an from living in Australia. So even some of my friends from home, they play sports and they're like, I would be interested in going to college in the US, but they have no kind of support in the same way that you do in the recruiting process here. So I have a friend who plays field hockey back in Tassie at home, and I'm reading through her college application, and I'm like, yeah, you should look up the contact information of the coaches of the schools that you're interested in. And I think that contrast kind of highlights how much the swim program here facilitates our recruitment process, and I'm very grateful for how they talk us through all of it. Yeah.
So obviously you chose Columbia, but you pretty sure you had other schools too interested in you, right?
Yeah.
What made you choose Columbia?
So one of the interesting things about what the coaches told us is you should talk to all these different types of schools.
Yeah.
Even if you think you want, from the get-go, you think, I'm going to an Ivy League, like,
Yeah.
that's what I want.
Uh-huh.
Like, talk to a big state school, talk to a small private
Yeah.
school, just so you can kind of feel out the difference. So for me, I tried to speak with different schools, like different divisions, different size schools.
Yeah.
That way you can kind of compare. But for me, though I really would like to pursue swimming, and that's a big priority in my life, I also for me, I also value the balance that I have with my academics.
Yes.
And something that I look for in a college is this challenge, I guess, academically, which is something I'm really excited about. And the balance between getting to swim in a D1 school and in that kind of program, but also having these engaging and challenging academics is something that I found in Columbia. So that was my ultimate decision. But the coaches definitely suggest that you explore all your options, so you know for sure that's what you want.
Yeah, that's definitely a good like perspective. And you guys, I know the swim program here is really, really good, and they give all their athletes a really good like opportunity to like branch out into college and pro. Even we have like a lot of Olympic swimmers,
it's
right?
insane. You get like Lucy up here with her Olympic tattoo.
Oh,
it's insane. You
That's
should get,
crazy.
I don't know if you've had her on here. You should
No,
have her.
we should get her. But yeah, so that is really cool. So going back to the like culture part of Australia, when you first moved to Bolles in your sophomore year, what was probably like the biggest like difference? You're like, wow, this is like so different. Like it's a shock.
There was definitely a few. One of the biggest ones was how challenging school is here academically. Even like just how you grade things is different. So in Australia, a C is 50%.
Oh,
here it is not 50%. So I got here and I'm like struggling so hard in my English class specifically, and I'm very grateful for like all the support of the teachers and all, but that was a big difference. And also, I don't know if it's like a commentary on Bolles specifically or if it's like the US as a whole, but there's certainly a much greater focus on college and on like how you perform in high school, getting you to there. You know? So in Australia, education wise, I feel like there's more of an emphasis on the different paths. Like Australia is known for its trades, and like you can do very well in life as somebody that does a trade, but I think that here your college education is much more of like an expectation, I guess. Whereas there, like, a lot of people do go to university, they do pursue higher level education, but it's also seen as more of an option to go a different way and to not do that. But that's one thing. I found that my table manners were a little bit subpar when I first came, so I learned how to use a knife and a fork, but I don't know if that's entirely cultural as much as my family. But language is a little bit different, and the expectations around how we speak, I've had my fair share of telling offs about my swearing, which I think is a little bit cultural as well. But yeah, those are some big ones.
That's really cool. So when you said about the like the language part and stuff, are there any like people in Australia, they all speak like English,
yes,
right? Are there any like words that like slang?
Yeah, okay, we have a lot of Australianisms. We try and think of some of the ones that people here tease me for. So I call this is like a jumper.
A jumper?
Yeah, or like what you call a hoodie is a jumper.
Oh, okay.
So everybody teases me about those ones, but what else? Accent wise, like when I'm cheering at swim meets and stuff and I say go, you'll hear everybody behind me start imitating me. It sounds like a bunch of cows. But also I say like, do you reckon?
Oh,
that's one that comes up a lot. People tease me for that. When I ask you, you say like how are you or how are you doing? I say how you going?
How you going?
Yeah. So even if like the accent isn't fully Australian for me, I think I picked up more on the like Australianisms and like the little different ways of saying certain things. Yeah.
What's probably like I know like you just said like Australia's like terms, but like what's some like the terms we have in the United States that you kind of learned and picked up on that you thought were like cool and different?
Oh, okay. I feel like we were talking about this the other day. Like you have some different I forgot the word, but I don't know if this is like one, but I was talking with a friend the other day. You say
Mhm.
like yanking your chain. Have you heard that?
I haven't heard that.
Okay, that maybe
before.
that's just like specific. Okay, well, I don't know if this is like appropriate for the thing, but like I'll say like taking the piss. Do you say that? Like that's like messing around. People,
I
but
think
like
I've
there's
heard that before.
yeah,
Like
or like
somewhere.
I can't swear on this, right? Okay.
Liking is good enough.
Okay, I'm trying to think of the American ones. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of some too. Not gonna lie.
I feel like I was having this conversation just the other
Yeah,
day.
I can't like think of them like on the spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely like a lot. I would
Yes,
say.
I've definitely had to learn some, and
Yeah.
I'll be like, "What is that? I do
Yeah.
not understand."
Yeah.
Or okay, here's another one. So I was expressing my love for sandwiches the other day, and there was like a little bit of like a not like language barrier, but like way you say things barrier because I was like, "Yeah, and I love toasties." And they're like, "What is a toastiella? Like, what is that?" And I had to like look up pictures. I'm like, it's a type of sandwich. It's like my favorite type of sandwich.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They're heavenly. Like, what do you mean you don't know what that is? I have to like look up the picture and go through the images, and they're like, "Ella, that's a grilled cheese. What are you talking about?"
You call grilled cheese a toasty? That's cool. Oh my god.
There's another one. Yeah, but
I like that. That's cool. Toasty.
yeah, because you toast it.
Yeah, true. That is true. Yeah.
That's
really
one.
fun. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, that is really cool. I really enjoy like how like I interviewed Adriel the other day from Bahamas, and then she was telling me all the stuff about like their like slang, and Paulina too from Germany, and like we speak like English. Well, Germany, some speak English, some speak German. But like when you speak English, you're like obviously English, but it's like in different ways, like different like words can mean the same thing, like accents and everything, and just like super super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, going again probably back to the culture thing. I always wonder in Australia, like you were talking about the schooling system, like. Is there like do they have like the same grades like kindergarten?
We have the same grades, but we break it up differently. So we have.
How do you like break it up?
You call it elementary school, right? So we call it primary school, and that's until grade like kinder all the way through grade 6.
6? Okay.
And then high school is 7 to 10, and then we call college 11 and 12.
Oh.
So that's kind of how that's broken up, which is definitely different.
What about middle school?
I guess it's kind of in between primary school and high school. I guess high school's kind of the middle one, yeah.
Okay, see, that's like cool. That's different. So like primary is like kindergarten through 6, and then
then high school's 7 to 10. But some schools will group all the way 7 to 12, and it's just like all like high school. But college specifically is 11 and 12, and a lot of the schools will have just a school for 11 and 12. Like you'll go between different primary school, different high school, different college, and then university is post.
Okay. Do you have like a lot of friends in Australia that like want to like come to the US for college or university?
I have a few, but honestly I can probably name only like 2, you know? And if they do, often it's through sport, which is interesting because in the US, sport is tied a lot more to your education and to like your college experience, your high school experience. Before I came here, I never really swam for my high school. I never saw swimming in university as like that much of a thing. And one of the biggest differences, I mean, I think it offers a lot of opportunities because at some point, like the way that they do it in Australia, you kind of do need to compromise one or the other because if you want to pursue sport at a high level, then you need to sacrifice a little bit of your education because you can't do both at the same in most places. Or in like you don't get to swim for your university, so you have to balance between doing club and then still doing your education. So I think it's a little bit makes it a bit easier the way that you have like NCAA sport, which is amazing. And a lot of people, a lot of the high performing athletes internationally come to the US to do sport and study in school.
So would you say in like Australia, like you're in school, they wouldn't have like the program Bolles has here for swimming?
No, certainly not. No. Okay. Yeah. So we would have like a swimming carnival once a year, but it's like not as high level, and if you take sports seriously, you do it for a club. Okay. And like club programs are huge, but it's not the same balance
like
that you get
with the school.
Okay. No.
That's cool.
And if you do a sport for your like high school,
Mhm.
it's like a fun, like leisurely activity
Yeah.
as opposed to as seriously
Yeah.
as certain sports that you do for high school are taken here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's probably like the one thing you miss most about Australia right now? Like you could wish you could have
Oh,
here.
okay. I like fluctuate between
Yeah.
a few things.
Okay.
Obviously, my family.
Mhm.
One of like something a little bit more niche, I guess, than that is I miss the stars so
The
much.
stars.
And I don't know if that's the country as a whole, but I'm
Mhm.
from like this little island kind of
Yeah.
at the bottom, and the stars there are beautiful. And like it's the like I don't even know if I realized it until I came here, but
Mhm.
I'm so fortunate that at night I can go outside and look up and you see everything, like
Yeah.
all the constellations, the Milky Way, like it's cloudy and you can
Mhm.
see the like
Yeah.
everything. And it's sometimes we get the like the aurora,
Mhm.
and I mean it's also pretty, and I love the stars
That
so
sounds
much.
really pretty.
Yeah, I miss the food too. We have good
What's your
food.
favorite like food here that you, if we went to Australia right now, you'd have everybody try?
Now that we've been talking about toasties, I would get this one specific one. My family goes to the farmer, like a local farmers market every weekend, and I would get like a specific one of that.
Mhm.
But like specifically an Australian kind of food, I would say pavlova.
What is pavlova?
It's like meringue with the like cream and fruit on it, and
Mhm.
it's really good.
Oh, I'll put like a picture like
Yeah.
right in there like I usually do.
I was craving that the other day. But in general, I think we have such good food because we're so close to like all the farms, and
Yeah.
everything's organic, everything's like grown well, so it's just good quality food.
Okay, that sounds
Yeah.
really good. I want to try that.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to Australia.
You should.
Do you guys have good like beaches?
Insane. So even like when people here talk about their beaches, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're nice and it's warm. Like it's not even that warm where I live, but you'll go to the beach and there'll be nobody there. Like
Yeah.
3 people.
Mhm.
Or like there's I guess also because we don't have that large of a population and we have so much land, but the beaches, I mean, certainly if you're closer to one of the big cities, it's a little bit of a different story. But where I live, like up the east coast of Tasmania and around there, the beaches are gorgeous and there is nobody there. Like you will have the entire beach to yourself, or there'll be a few surfers or whatever that is, but it's a different experience.
I don't know if it's like you mentioned surfing. I don't know if it's like a stereotype, but like a bunch of people I heard in Australia surf. Is that like
surfing is a big thing there? Again, because we have amazing beaches and like the waves are synonymous with that. But definitely I mean, I think that at my school we had a club where you would spend this time during your lunches and stuff, and you could build a surfboard.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of I don't personally surf, but a lot of my I'd like to, but a lot of my friends would be very into that.
Yeah.
I know that specifically where I live, there's a big surfing scene, but I think it's more of like the dangerous surfing. So I don't know if I'd be entirely into that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really enjoyed learning about the Australian culture and obviously swimming here at Bolles and your commitment to Colombia. That is huge. Once again, congratulations. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I had really fun interviewing you. And yeah, so stay tuned for the next episode. And yeah, bye.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.